Hey everyone. So you've been working on some word problems here. So hopefully that's been going okay for you. So we have a couple more that we're gonna kind of work through today, and then we want to talk about how do I use this equation that I came up with to maybe evaluate a value that's going to happen in the future or something like that. Okay. So first thing we have to do, if we look at question number one here, so this is the document that's on Google Classroom. So if you want to have this up, we're going to do some of them together, so less for you to do on your own. Okay. So first thing, it says suppose that the water level of the river is 34 feet and it is receding at a rate of 0.5 feet per day. Okay. So we know that we're trying to write this equation y equals mx plus b. Right? We know that that's what we're trying to do here. Now, a couple things just to kind of reiterate what we are already talking about. So slope m, so we know that that's slope, but it's also my rate. Okay, so that's my rate of change, ROC. So we're looking for something that says per day, per week, per second. Something like that is a good indication that a value is my rate of change. All right, so if we look at this problem, it says, oh, look, it says a rate of 0.5. So this one, it basically just says, hey, look at me, I'm the rate of change. Okay, so after reading this, we already know that m is equal to 0.5, and that's in feet per day. Okay, so then what is this b value? Well, you guys probably can already know what number it is. It's 34 feet. But what does it represent? So a lot of times we'll call this b value the initial value, would be the fancy name for this, because we know it's the y-intercept on the graph. We know that. But when we're doing a word problem, a lot of times it's the initial value, or I like to say the starting point. Okay, what is the starting point of this problem? So my starting point is 34 feet. So when I'm looking at this river, it's starting at 34 feet. And so my final equation here would be y equals 0.5x plus 34. Okay? Now, if I read carefully, question A says write an equation for the water level L after D days. Okay, so I used y and x. This problem is asking me for used L and D. So which one represents x and which one represents y? Well, with this one, you guys know all of first semester we said almost always if you have a unit of time like days, that's going to be your x value or your independent variable. So I know that D is going to be my x in this problem, and then L is the water level. That's the dependent variable, right? The water depends on the time. So instead of the letter y, I'm going to write the letter L. So if I put this all together for my final answer, I'm going to have L equals 0.5 times D plus 34. Okay, now probably you're thinking, Mr. Cridge, we know this already. We did this all last week. That was easy. You just wasted my time, and I'm sorry. I just can't help myself. All right, so now let's look at part B. Part B is a little bit newer. So, in how many days will the water level be 26 feet? Okay, so what are they asking for? They're saying, okay, when the water level is 26, find D, find days. So where do I put this 26? Well, 26 represents the level, which in my equation is L. So to set this up, I'm going to put the 26 where that L is. So 26 equals 0.5D plus 34. You know what? I just realized I messed something up here. Did you guys see this word up here, receding? What does it mean to be receding? Receding means that I'm losing water, right? I'm going the wrong way here. So what does that mean about my rate? That means that my rate needs to be negative. So I got to make sure that I put a negative in front of that point D. All right, so now I have to evaluate this. All right, so how do I evaluate this? Well, there's a couple ways we could do this. We could probably use Desmos, but I think we can just solve this by hand. I don't think I need Desmos here. So how do I solve this equation? Well, I'm trying to find D, right? How many days? So I'm going to solve for d. I'm going to subtract 34 from both sides. Minus 34, minus 34. So I get negative 8 equals negative 0.5 times d. Okay, how do I get rid of a negative 0.5? So this is negative 0.5 times d. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 0.5. You can type that in your calculator if you want, but spoiler alert, you're going to get d equals 16. So what does that mean? That means it's going to take 16 days for the water level to be 26 feet. All right, we're off to a good start here. So let's go ahead and, I don't know, which one should we do next? Let's do number 3. So if you scroll down to number 3, we'll go ahead and give this one a try. So number 3 says, Mercedes is a hairstyling expert. After working for 2 hours, she has styled 8 customers. After 7 hours, she has styled 28 customers. Write an equation for the number of customers Y that Mercedes has styled after X hours. All right, no problem. So I need a slope and I need a y-intercept. All right, so did they give me a slope? Well, let's see. After 2 hours, she has styled 8 customers. After 7 hours, she has styled 28. Do you guys see a rate in here? Do you see something that says like customers per hour or anything? No, I don't either. Do you see an initial value that would tell us how many people had started off had their hair already done or anything? No, I don't either. So I don't think they give us a slope or a y-intercept here. So how am I going to do this? Well, I think if I look at this, they gave me some coordinates. An ordered pair is really what they gave me. After 2 hours, she has styled 8 customers. So they gave me an ordered pair. That's 2 hours, comma 8 customers. 2, comma 8. Oh, okay. And then if I keep looking, I think I have another one. 7 hours, we have 28 customers. So 7, comma 28. All right, so they didn't give me a rate, and they didn't give me the y-intercept, but they did give me a set of ordered pairs. All right, so what do I do now? Well, I need to find slope, right? So this is good review for the test we have coming up, finding the rate of change, finding the slope. So if you remember to do that, we go y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y is on the top, so 28 minus 8. X is on the bottom, that'd be 7 minus 2. 28 minus 8, that's 20. 7 minus 2 is 5. 20 minus 5 is 4. Okay, great. So 4 is my slope. All right, so that's a great start. So right now I have y equals 4 is my m, x plus b. Okay, so now what do I need? I need b. I need my y-intercept, my initial value, my starting point. So how do I do this again? Oh man, I forget. All right. Oh wait, I remember. Okay, I need to plug in one of these points. Now you can plug in either one you want. I usually go with the numbers that are the smallest just because it makes my algebra easier. Now, how do I know which ones to plug in? Well, 2 is the x value and 8 is the y value. So I'm going to plug in 8 in place of y. So 8 equals 4 times 2 is the x plus b. Okay, 4 times 2 is 8. So to get rid of an 8, I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. Oh, 8 minus 8 is 0. So that means that b equals 0. Okay, cool. So what does that mean for my equation? Well, m is 4, b is 0. So my final equation is y equals 4x plus 0. Now, do I need the plus 0? What happens if you have $5 and you add 0? How many dollars do you have? We still have $5, right? So technically, I don't need this plus 0. You can leave it if you want to, but I think I might just get out of the way. I don't need it, right? That's just extra. So my final equation is y equals 4x. All right, so now question B, how many customers could she style if she worked for 12 hours? Okay, so now I need to figure this out. So I know I'm going to plug 12 in for something, but what? Well, it says 12 hours. So which of these variables represents hours? Y or X? Well, we say usually the independent variable is time, and X is my independent variable. And up here, if you look, you guys see up here, we wrote 2 hours was X. So I'm going to plug in 12 for the X value. Okay, so Y equals 4 times 12. 4 times 12 is 48. So Y equals 48. And 48 what? 48 monkeys, $48. Well, we said my Y value represents customers. So 48 customers. So what does this mean? This means she could help 48 customers if she worked for 12 hours. Okay, so a couple key takeaways here. Key takeaway number 1, if you are given 2 ordered pairs, 2 hours, 8 customers, 7 hours, 28 customers, here's my strategy. Find your ordered pairs, use your slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, plug in a point to find b, and then put it all together. Okay? If you're not given 2 ordered pairs, like when we did number 1, then be on the lookout for some key words. Rate, per day, feet per day. That was telling me that was my rate. Okay, and then the other value I'm looking for is starting amount. Okay, in this one the water level is 34 feet. That's where it started. So that would be my B value, my y-intercept. Okay, so hopefully we're getting the hang of this. Make sure you reach out to us before you take that test if you need any help. And keep checking Google Classroom. We're here for you, but you got to reach out and let us know if you're struggling. All right, so stay tuned. We'll talk to you guys soon. Sorry, make sure you finish this up. If you get stuck on any, let us know, but your homework for tonight is to finish up these problems.